Welcome, everyone. Welcome to um, the Growing Your Garden webinar with Faith in Place and Pastor Reshorna Fitzpatrick of Stone Temple Baptist Church. Faith in Place empowers Illinois people of all faiths to be leaders in caring for the earth, providing resources to educate, connect, and advocate for healthier communities. We believe that when people of faith lead the environmental movement, it is a movement focused on justice and care for our common environment. My name is Samantha Miller, and I'm the Energy and Climate Change Outreach Support Staff at Faith in Place. Welcome again. Welcome. Today's presentation, in today's presentation, we will meet Pastor Reshorna Fitzpatrick of the Historical Stone Temple Baptist Church and the Community Heritage Peace Garden. We will learn about the types of gardens, the benefits of gardening, ways to get started, and resources. Let's look at a brief video of the Stone Temple Community Heritage Peace Garden. Thank you. Hello, I'm Samantha Miller, Faith in Place's Energy and Climate Change Support. I'm also the Green Team Coach for the historic Stone Temple Baptist Church. Stone Temple sought to create an urban garden as a safe haven of peace for the community with fresh produce. Faith in Place connected Stone Temple with Chicago Sinai Congregation, two very different green teams from opposite sides of Chicago. These two teams garden together, but also share their faith, heritage, and cultures as well. The Peace Garden lit the way for more positive changes, including a performance stage and a future meditation garden and social enterprise to employ young people. Pastor Reshorna Fitzpatrick often says, all things work together when you have faith in place. Let's hear more from Pastor Reshorna and Susan Stone now.
What the Stone Temple Green Team with the Chicago Sinai Green Team have been able to accomplish since the beginning is just been some amazing things in the North Lawndale community.
Our congregation, in partnership with Stone Temple Church, has accomplished a number of things during the past almost 2 years.
The first thing we were able to accomplish was through our meetings with both of the groups from Stone Temple and from Chicago Sinai was just developing a relationship, first of all, and then the empowerment that we were able to bring forth just out of the meetings that we had.
Underlying each of the specific successful projects has been a wish and a commitment to develop relationships of collaboration and trust where we could learn from one another.
So from there, we decided that we were going to go out on the lot and see how we were going to put our heads together, our ideas together, our plan together, and create a beautiful garden. That garden, where it is now, started out as just a vacant lot, and it was a thoroughfare for all types of negative activity. And just a lot of rubbish was there. So we came together and decided that we were going to do something phenomenal, and we have done that. The community is safer. There is a lot of fun that takes place on that garden, in that garden space. There's been a baby shower there. There's been a birthday parties. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony. So there's lots of celebratory things that are happening in that vacant lot that is now a beautiful garden. And it's just because Stone Temple and Chicago Sinai, thanks to the help of Faith in Place, develop a partnership that is spilling over into the community, that's bringing love and peace and unity. And I'm so happy to be a part of this organization.
What we're looking forward to is when we can be together again and to use the beautiful new stage that Pastor Reshorna also got built, to have presentations to tell each of our faith communities' history and heritage, and to forge relationships and bring our faith communities closer together.
So I'm so excited about this stage because it will allow us to tell our stories, to give our narratives. Oftentimes, our stories and our narratives are given by people who are not even from our communities and who really don't know our truths. So the Chicago Sinai family, the North Lawndale family, the Stone Temple family will be able to go on stage, tell our own stories, give our own narratives from a historical standpoint of what we know and what we've experienced. So I am super excited about what people will be able to hear that we have to say because we've lived it. I swear by Faith in Place because you guys, or now we, just do some awesome and amazing work. And when we come together, it's just things happen, beautiful things happen. I never did a garden before. And when I look at it, I'm amazed at what's out there. I really am. And it's because Faith in Place said you can do it. And I believed it and we did it.
In Judaism, we have a tradition that we call Tikkun Olam, which means the repair of the world. It energizes our commitment to lighting the way through work for social justice. In Stone Temple Church, we have found a partner who is also deeply committed to making its community healthier, safer, and more connected. When we can be together again in person, our handsome new stage will allow us to tell all of our stories and light the way through establishing more loving connections.
The historical Stone Temple Church lights the way by bringing unity into the community.
What a great video. Thanks for watching. I love it. I love that video. Today's special guest is Pastor Reshorna Fitzpatrick, Garden Extraordinaire. Pastor Reshorna, I give it to you.
Hello, everybody. I enjoyed that video. I enjoyed looking at those collard greens. I enjoyed looking at those tomatoes. As I said in the video, I had never gardened before until I was approached by my Faith in Place family. And then I said yes to the request. And I have not been happier ever. And just, on my wedding day, of course, and the birth of my children. But these are the kinds of things that make me very, very happy because we are enrolling our community into creating gardens and making our community sustainable. We are in a food desert, and let's go there. We're in a food desert, and we need to have food that is healthy, that is good. We max the list out when it comes to health issues. And so how do we move away from those numbers being so high on the charts of Black and brown people having bad health issues? We go out into the garden, into the yard, and we begin to grow and plant our own food. There's that parking lot that was just a vacant lot that was, I said in the video, a thoroughfare for whatever. We looked at it, Faith in Place, and the partners that they brought. When Faith in Place comes together to create a green team, they have the best partners. We had Anna Maria Leon, we had Rodriguez, we had all those people who are in this community who have put together gardens and flower gardens and vegetable gardens, come sit at a table. From our family from Chicago Sinai congregation came in with a wealth of knowledge, and we put together what you see to the center, this beautiful area. But this parking lot was just an eyesore for the community. And oh, absolutely no, we're going to have food there. And I was one of the people in elementary school when they gave you the little cup to put your bean in and you try to get it to grow. Mine never growed, but that is not the case when you partner with the right partners. You get to grow everything. And it's so exciting. This was our first opening. We had a planting day. If you see this center picture, and the youth came out, the families came out, we had a barbecue. This had never partners together that want to do great things in communities that are already great. They just haven't come to the realization that they are. So I'm celebrating that we have this beautiful garden in North Lawndale, and we have partners that will have come together, and it has continued for 3 consecutive years. Did I say 3? Yes. And I'm so excited about that. Same partners, partnerships are growing, and so is our food. Again, center picture, love it. It's our stage that was donated. Did I say donated? Absolutely, I did. UCAN is an organization in our community. It used to be an orphanage, but now what they do is they take care of young people who are trying to transition from being without parents to learning how to cope, getting life skills. And they work with ICEJA and granted us the funds to have Human Scale build us this beautiful stage. This stage was given to us with no cost to our church, just because we asked, and we're so happy to have it. We'll be able to tell our stories. It's right in the center of the garden. You'll be able to come there and meditate. And if you are afraid of public speaking, listen, you can go out there on that stage when nobody's listening, and you can talk about whatever you want to talk and build those skills. And you can also come when there are things happening and learn, because we have all kinds of workshops and cooking demonstration. Now, this is in the Stone Temple Garden. We have a sign so you'll know exactly when you enter the garden that you're in the garden. And that sign is filled with beautiful flowers, and the flowers are starting to bloom right now. I'm super excited about it. And there go those wonderful beds, those garden beds that we built with our Chicago Sinai congregation family. There's one guy in particular, his name is Grant, and Grant had the fortitude to give us the design. He cut the wood. He brought all of the items that we needed to put together those beds. So my pear tree was planted by Dennis, and Dennis is a community resident. He lived in this community for 40 years. And the day that we were out planting my Chicago Sinai congregation and the Stone Temple congregation, he walks past and he wanted to come and help. And that's what usually happens when you create a community garden. The people in the community, they do want to come in and help. Well, Dennis came by, he planted this pear tree. And whenever you see Dennis, if you come to Stone Temple and you're in the garden and Dennis is there, he's going to tell you that he planted that tree. And he's excited about it. One of the things I love about having a community garden, a garden period, is that you develop relationships with the people in your community, because all of us have to eat. All of us love certain types of vegetables. And so we plant vegetables that are conducive for the people in our community, so they can come out and ask us about them and talk to us about them. And guess what? They get to take those vegetables home with them for free. That is really exciting, because I would love to have a community garden in my community that I could just go and pick fruit and vegetables and take them home and eat them, and they are free as well. So this is so exciting. We have seating that is socially distanced, as you can see. So we prepared for COVID, and we were excited that we are able to use our garden even while the pandemic was happening. When we were released to go out into the garden, we were out there with our masks, looking at all the beauty, exploring what type of flowers were there, and looking at the food and anticipating how we were going to take it home and cook it. So it's exciting. I'm going to go to the next slide. There are various types of gardens, and you can grow your own garden. I was the person I said earlier that never even imagined having a garden. Now I have native plants in my garden, and those native plants are there for pollinators to come, and we need the bees. And I know that people are sometimes afraid of bees, but they don't generally mess with you unless you are messing with them. I said generally because one day I was stung and I don't think I was messing with the bee. Anyway, we need them to transfer that pollen from plant to plant, and to make sure that we can continue to grow, and to make sure that our area is free from any of the carbon that we can get rid of, because we have these native plants, we have trees. There are so many benefits of having native plants in our garden. It makes sure that the rainwater is not just settling in our garden. And it makes me happy to know that we have a few native plant gardens in North Lawndale. That makes me happy. But no better vegetable or plants to have in your garden than vegetables. I like the way this box is designed, because it shows that there is comparative planting. You can compatibly plant vegetables together so that they can grow. They provide protection to one another. Some of the taller plants grow, and if there are some vegetables there that don't like a lot of sun, then they will block the sun. So you want to make sure that you are planting your vegetables and there are compatible planting. In addition to that, it also helps when they protect them from different types of insects and bugs that may come and attach themselves to your plants and start eating away at them. So you can plant in a way that you're protecting your vegetables and your plants. And the next thing we would like to talk about is our herb garden. You can have an herb garden right on your windowsill. Imagine that. If you've ever thought about growing herbs, you don't have to grow them outside. You can grow them right on your windowsill and go right to the window and get some cilantro, and go right to the window and get some basil, and it'll be right there waiting for you. So these are the various types of gardens that you can grow this summer, and you are not too late to do it. You can begin right now. And listen, I have seeds for you if you want some. Just contact me. We'll get you some seeds. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits of gardening? And I thought about some of the things that I've benefited from. So the first thing I'm going to tell you how the garden benefits, it's psychological. It's a stress reliever. During COVID, 6-7 members of my family had been diagnosed with COVID. I spent so many days in the garden, just meditating, just relieving stress, just connecting to the earth. Now, for those of us who believe in the creation story, we really do know that we were made from the dust of the earth. So when you're in nature, you're actually as close as you're ever going to be to who you are as a person. And that gives you some peace, that takes care of you, that makes you feel good. It alleviates some stress, and it connects you back to the place from which you come. Another thing that's good for us in this garden is that we get healthy, fresh fruit and vegetables. So our fruit and vegetables from our garden come to us in 2 or 3 days or 2 and 3 weeks. They're actually coming from your garden to your plate, from your garden to your fork, from the garden to your cleaning space where you're going to wash up those vegetables and put them in your mouth and eat them. Listen, check out the link in the chat for free vegetables and garden resources, because there are lots of free things that you can get. So what you want to make sure in the vegetable garden that you're going to have fresh fruit and vegetables. And they're good for you because you don't have to travel to the store to get them. They've not traveled a long space to get to you, and they're fresh. And they're at its most healthiest when you go right out your back door or right to your garden and get fresh fruit and vegetables. It's healthier for you. Talked earlier in our session about how there is a disparity in health, and the disparity is because we don't have healthy food. We don't have fresh food, fresh vegetables, but you can plant them in your backyard. You can plant them on the block where there's a vacant lot. You guys can come together and create a space that you can have a green, growing, beautiful fruit and vegetable garden. Now, here's another benefit of a garden. It engages you in physical activity. So you're walking around your garden. As a matter of fact, you can even do exercise in your garden. Skill building. You can go out if you have a stage or if you don't, and you can build skill. You can sit down and have classes and workshop. You can create these green spaces anywhere there is space available. And when you create a green space, you're also going to create community. You're also going to create unity in your community, and you're also going to create relationships. Beautify vacant lots. And that's one of the things we're doing in North Lawndale. We're finding lots that are available that community members would like for us to beautify. And the Chicago Sinai congregation, the Stone Temple Green team, and people in the community, that is what we're doing. And it makes for a safety place for you to go and sit and commune with the community members and just have a really good time. When you have trees in your community, a tree canopy helps absorb some of that heat. It also helps to relieve the carbon from the air. So it stops some of that pollution that we have to be faced with, because we are an urban area, and there are things that we don't want in our environment. So we plant our trees and we plant our grasses, and we put ourselves in a position where we are experiencing fresh air because we decide to plant. If we want to take away some of that heat, we can save on our energy bill too if we had more trees and more greenery in our community. Also, think about this. It increased community access to fresh, healthy fruit and vegetables. I'm going to keep saying that because I see it happening, and I see people getting excited about walking past a garden and watching things grow and watching things prosper. And that is what causes the community to be healthy. That is also what causes the community to prosper. When you have good food, good relationship, good vegetables, and healthy fruit, then you and your community can prosper. And it's a united front you take. And as you take that united front, you're able to experience everything in your community blossoming, not just the relationships, but health, not just health, but even the vibrancy of what's around, because it changes your mindset. And I talked about this earlier, removing the carbon by planting trees. In North Lawndale, we are seeking to become a tree arboretum. We want to, and actually, I want to be a tree keeper, and I want to have more trees in our community. What else do we do? How else can we care for nature? Care for nature by not polluting. That's one of the things I like to tell people. There are trash cans for trash, so let's use them. We can also support the weekend ecosystem through increasing the number of native plants. There are all kinds of resources online, and you can search for native plants and the effects and the benefits. We want to make sure that we are supporting the butterflies. We want to make sure that we are not having puddles of water. So let's plant plants that will absorb some of the water and grow and actually have a beautiful space in your community. You want to protect the wildlife by including pollinators. The very first time I saw a monarch butterfly caterpillar, I did not know what it was, but it was the first year that we planted the garden, and it was turquoise and black and beautiful. And I was like, what is this? And then I did the research and I found out, I did say I did the research. Yeah. So when you don't know something, you got to do some research, or you can ask someone as well. And I found out, thanks to Princess, that it was a monarch butterfly, and the monarch butterflies are in trouble. So let's do our part about planting native plants so that we can have more pollinators come in. You know what else? I think I have a pack of common milkweed here. I do. I'm going to plant some common milkweed because I want butterflies to come. So plant what you want to see grow and who you want to visit you in your garden. Care for nature is very important. Next slide, please. And so listen, there is a way for garden to be in every space. There is a way. How does that happen? Hydroponic gardens, where you grow with water. Amazing. I'm in North Lawndale, as I said earlier, and Farm and Ogden is there. They have a beautiful hydroponic garden. You can visit it when you come to North Lawndale. What about this vertical garden? Right alongside the wall, you just walk past, you just pick your herbs, and you just go right to the kitchen and you just begin to cook them. Container gardens, gardens in grow bags. Speaking of container gardens and gardens in grow bags, we have some containers, grow bags here that we would share with those of you who are in our area and would like to have a grow bag. We will give you the grow bag, we will give you the soil, and also the seeds so that you can grow food in grow bags on your back porch, in your yard, and they're easy to take care of. What I like about grow bags is this: you can take those grow bags and move them to where the sun is or move them away from the sun. I spoke earlier about having herbs on your windowsill. Doesn't that just look darling there? I love having herbs on windowsills. And then again, raised garden beds. Get your raised garden beds in your backyard, in a vacant lot, and watch the lettuce grow, watch the spinach grow, watch the tomatoes grow. They will definitely grow. You have to have a good team together. You have to make sure that you put yourself in a situation where, what if you were a plant? Wouldn't you want somebody to take care of you? So what you got to do is take care of your plants. You want to start small and build. Now, you got to have a team to start at any point. Someone that you can confer with, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can depend on. And then you got to do your research and be creative. If you saw our garden, you saw how creative we were. We have a stage, we have garden beds, we have flowers. I had to have flowers and food. I just got to go out there and I got to see the flowers growing. And I also have to see the food growing. And remember, check the resources, find out who you can talk to that can help you. Go to your neighbors, go to people who you know have garden, and get some of the older farmers. Some of our family members have come from the South and they know how to garden. Ask them. You will learn a lot when you talk to people who already know how to garden. Learn from them. Plant things that you really like to eat, like cucumbers, and they will grow. Plant them and talk to your plants. I know that probably seems strange, but remember, the soil is where we come from. We are part of that ecosystem. So talk to your plants. Say, hey, you're looking good today. You're growing. I'm so happy. I can't wait to eat you. And then listen, pick a spot in your garden where there is at least 6 hours of good daytime so that your plants can grow and can get light and have access to water. And this is very, very important that you use the proper type of soil, soil that is contaminant free. The local universities will actually test the soil for you. So make sure that you are using the proper soil. Get a really, really good garden mix. Again, talk to farmers, go to other gardeners, and then consider in-kind donations. I know we said start small and then build, but listen, Home Depot is an amazing resource to provide goods to gardeners. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to tell in Home Depot, I went there yesterday and I needed to get some shovels, and I was able to get a $50 discount on the shovels that I received just because I asked if they could help me with a discount on some shovels for my garden, and they did. So keep trying. If your plant dies, don't take it personal. Maybe something happened with the soil. Don't blame yourself. Just plant something else. Again, I want to share this. It's important that you have the right type of garden mix for your garden, and plant and watch them grow and enjoy what you can do in the garden. So don't think that you can't. Believe that you can, and your garden will grow and it will prosper. Here are some other tips that you need for your garden. You got to have the right type of gardening clothes. So this will give you an opportunity to go shopping. Hey, this is probably one of my favorite pictures. My canna grows so high. They grow as tall as I do, and I can't wait for them to sprout up this year. So I love that picture, and that is what my garden looked like last year, and I am waiting for it to look like that again this year. I'm sorry for digressing, but I can't help it when I see that picture. Listen, get a hat because you want to protect yourself from the sun. Wear loose and comfortable clothing, ankle high boots or something similar so that you are not getting soil all in your shoe and everything. Make sure you have knee pads or a kneeling pad. Also, make sure you have the proper rain gear, because we will be working in the rain. Absolutely, we will. And you need your gardening gloves. So have the right gear. This is a chance for you to go shopping and get you some good things that you need while you're working in your garden. I'm just getting excited just talking about it. So, hey, here's what you need. You need your shovel, you need your trowel, you need your clippers, you need your curator, get a handheld one, and you need the weed for the dandelions, because the dandelions are going to grow. And that's just the cutest water can. It looks like the Tin Man, but that's the water can. You want to walk around, you want to feel proud in your garden. You want to have all the right tools. And then you can get you a tool apron. Some of those tools can go right into your apron. You're walking around, you're proud, you're excited because you are a gardener. So listen, we've given you some tips today. We've given you some ideas. Take all that you have learned, find you some garden partners, and start planting. Last tip I want to give you is companion planting guide. You can go online and you can find the companion planting guides, and plants want to grow together. It's just like all of us here, we're learning together. We're learning to grow together. That's how plants want to be too. They don't want to be in a bed all by themselves. They want others to be there as well. So look at companion planting guides and figure out what you can plant together and watch them grow together, just as we as human beings can grow together in whatever environments we find ourselves in. And there are some prizes in the Chicago area. If you are and you're interested in grow bags, I said it earlier, or kale and cabbage seeds pickup, fill out the form in the chat, and we will follow up with you. And it's on a first come, first serve basis.
Okay, so now we've entered the question and answer session, section of our webinar, garden webinar. So the first question, let's see if I can go all the way back up. The first question we have says, thank you for the seeds. I think we have, okay, it was a form to fill out. They will put that form.
I have one, Samantha, from Ray.
Okay, I was looking for that one.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
So Ray asked Pastor Reshorna, how do you keep bugs from eating your plants?
Can you hear me, Ray?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So to be honest, we haven't really had a plant bug eating issue in our garden. So I just want to say it is through prayer and supplication, and we made our request known unto God. And so we've never had a problem really with plant eating our produce. The very first year, there was a small problem, and someone wanted me to sprinkle some, I can't remember what it was, but because it was a chemical, I didn't do it. And so I just kind of, it was the little moth, the little white moth really that was kind of attacking the greens. And since then, I haven't really had a problem with it. And maybe somebody else can share, if they're a gardener, what they utilize to prevent insects from eating up their, I really think it's too, is how we companion plant too.
Pastor Reshorna, Ginny added a link in the chat if everyone wants to look there for an organic product for bugs, so you could check that out as well. And then we have a question from Dorothy. What are a couple of ideas of companion planting?
Okay, so if you saw our slide, you can put cucumbers with peppers. The cucumbers grow flat and the peppers grow tall. Our slide is there. And then if you look, you see corn, cucumbers, beans, peas. So I've never grown corn before, so I don't know how that works, but I'm sure it works like any other companion planting, but I've never grown it. You can also plant your tomatoes with basil. You can plant a lot of larger vegetables with herbs. And then even with some of the flowers, but you just have to make sure that you do the research to make sure that certain flowers can go with certain vegetables. You are welcome, Dorothy.
Are there any other questions? Come on, I know you all have a lot of questions.
So somebody said that they have issues with squirrels and raccoons. And because I haven't had any issues with squirrels and raccoons, I would have to defer to someone who has, or do some research and get back to you as to how to handle squirrels and raccoons.
I can add a little bit, Pastor Reshorna, if you'd like on that.
Absolutely.
So there are hundreds upon hundreds of Facebook groups, and people are always posting about these types of issues. So some kind of inventive things I've seen, you take forks and you put them upwards, so the animals don't like to step on them. And it doesn't injure them, thankfully. So, it's all around a good option. And then I've seen like cinnamon, some pepper, a couple different things, because once they touch it, it gets on their paws, they don't like it. Someone even used fake garden snakes that they got at the store. It kept the squirrels out. So, I mean, there are tons of options out there. Google is literally your best friend when it comes to gardening if you don't have someone who can help you. And something I've heard that I also really enjoyed was that if things in nature aren't eating your vegetables and fruits, then you're actually not part of the ecosystem. So, I mean, you could also take it like that, depending on how much they're eating and taking away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Do I see any more?
This is Ray. I'd like to know a little bit more about the stage. I think the stage is just amazing. So how did that stage design come about?
So Human Scale is a small group of students that recently graduated from UIC, and they partnered with us. And there was a grant from ICEJA that went to UCAN. We were selected for a project, and they provided the funds. And Human Scale designed the stage, and they built it for us at no cost.
Wow, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and the acoustics in it really are really good. I mean, I don't know if it looks like it is, but we've had some events there, and it's just been great. And anybody is welcome to use it. Like, think of something that you want to do and come out to the garden. If you're just coming out there to meditate, just do that.
Great. Okay. So if no one else has any more questions or interest that they would like to ask Pastor Reshorna, you can join us for our next webinar in the Grow Your Garden series on June 22nd at 5 p.m. Registration link will be in the chat. And you will receive emails as well.
Samantha, I think Cindy just gave us one question, and she asked, I wonder how they decided what to plant. So in our meetings, Cindy, we kind of talked about what people like to eat. Remember earlier I said, plant what you like to eat. And so we planted things that we knew that people in the community like to eat, but we also planted some things that we know that they didn't know how to cook or prepare, so that we could have cooking demonstrations and then just have a conversation around how to cook some of these other things that we had planted. So those things were decided early on in our meetings when we had our first planning meetings with our green team.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions, anyone? Okay.
So this was lovely, everybody. Thanks
was.
for having me. I really, really enjoyed sharing, and gardening is something that I really love. I'm connected to maybe about 10 gardens in North Lawndale, and we are doing a phenomenal job. So thank you for listening. And if you have tips that you'd like to share with me, please feel free to share them, and I will pass them.
I think, okay. So thank you, Pastor Reshorna. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been a great webinar. Sorry about the technology, everyone. So stay in touch with Faith in Place. Follow us on social media at Faith in Place. Email us, info@faithinplace.org, and check out more free resources through faithinplace.org, www.faithinplace.org.